This video is brought to you by Artistworks. Artistworks are part of TrueFire Studios, and they offer direct access to master musicians through their innovative online learning platform. Partnering with iconic musicians, they've crafted decades of industry experience into guided paths of online learning. Crucially, there's an option to get personalized feedback tailored specifically to your playing via their unique video exchange. Get direct guidance towards your playing goals. You can use the code GNC40 for 40% off of any of Artistworks courses. One of my favourite players obviously is Eric Johnson, and I can remember the first time actually seeing and hearing this guy play was G3. I was a fan of Joe Satriani and Steve Vai at the time, teenage lad, you know how it is. I watched this G3 video, one of my mates must have had it on DVD, and this Eric Johnson guy was on it, and I'd never heard of him, and his playing instantly jumped out to me as being some of the most musical guitar playing that I'd ever really heard, and it just sounded like something different. Now, in the tune SRV, there's quite a simple little lick, which I can also remember hearing on Venus Isle, and I'd learned it in various ways. I may have even done a lesson on this before, but I caught on the G3 video, what was unusual about this is that he actually plays the lick that he plays on the album, which quite oftentimes Eric Johnson is kind of improvising, so you don't necessarily hear him play too much of the same lead stuff that is on the album live, but caught it live. I think, so we're in E major for this tune, SRV, and yeah, we're going to be kind of sitting around here on the fretboard, so your main kind of pentatonics box for this, C sharp minor or E major, would be here, but he's actually kind of sitting around here for the most of it. So that would probably be a good thing to figure out. I've done plenty of lessons on the pentatonic kind of stuff. If you search John Cordy pentatonics, you'll probably find a bunch, but the idea really, if you're new to this, is that got your 5 notes of the pentatonic scale. You can actually start the pentatonic scale on any of those notes. And you should probably figure out how to do that. So yeah, there's kind of 5 places that you could play the pentatonic scale, starting from any of those 5 notes, and you get the same basic kind of sound, so that your pentatonic box shapes are no longer kind of just in one place, but they're all over the net and you can join them up. that's what people like Matteo Sasato, Joe Bonamassa, Eric Johnson do so well. Right, so our lick, I think on the album he starts on a B on the 9th fret, but I think on this live version, I think he starts on an E on the 7th fret. So we get this. So just up the pentatonic scale, so 9, 7, 9, 7. So what we typically hear with a lot of pentatonic stuff, all the way up or all the way down, or what you don't hear so much of, and this is something I kind of like to try and do, and the really good players like Eric Johnson, Matteo Sasato really do, is kind of mix things up. So we're going up, we reach up to the 12th fret, so that's the shape above, right? This note comes from the kind of next box shape. Back down to the 7th fret, up to the 9th fret, and then we go miss that 7 there and instead come down to the 9th fret on the B string. So we're now down to the 9th fret, and then we come back up, 7, 9, and back down to that 9, down to the 6, down to the 9, and here we get a note which is outside of the pentatonic scale. This is kind of the A. Is actually something which makes this lick sound kind of different. So the actual pentatonic scale would go but we're in E major, so that A can definitely be valid. It gives it a bit more of an open sound, a little bit less predictable. So 7, 9, 9, 6, 9, 7, 9, 7, and then we jump out of position to here, 7, 5, 7, and we're kind of ending on the 2nd degree of the scale as well. So we get, it's got quite an open kind of sound to it, is how I would describe it. Because you're kind of ended on a suspended note that wants to lead somewhere, and you've got that A in there, which again kind of gives it like a little bit of a suspended feel relative to E. So that's the lick. So you could learn that, or and kind of play it in E major, or you could do the next best thing, which would be to learn it in other keys, so in G. So we're starting on the root, aren't we? And we're starting one shape below our kind of normal pentatonic box shape. So B flat, root, E flat, okay, so you can move it around in that way. What about D flat major? That'd be around here. D major. Okay, right, so take it back to E major and think about the actual kind of geometry of the lick. So we go up the pentatonic scale, jump to the next box, come down, and when we can see an A, we want to try and include it. So we could try and move this kind of up to the next box shape. So there's one option. Okay, another option. However you want to end it. Wait, it should be down. Keep going, we've got another one here. There's one. One more, we've got, that was there. Or so what I'm doing, just to really explain it in a nutshell, is taking the box shapes as I know them, and taking the principle where we're following the exact kind of geometry of the thing, and replacing the A where we can. But just kind of morphing it for whichever pentatonic box shape we're in. Speaking of this sort of thing, if you're interested in kind of playing, improvising, all this sort of stuff, I'd encourage you to check out TrueFire. You can use the code JNC100 to get 100% $100 off of their all access pass, where you can get access to all of their stuff. Things that I was enjoying recently, Adam Levy on there has actually got a course where you're kind of jamming along with him to some folk jazz tunes, and it's a really relaxing kind of experience. He plays really soulful, really restrained, and really kind of, I don't know, beautifully, and it was just really refreshing to sort of watch him comp. So he comps for a take through the chorus, and then you comp, and then, you know, the idea is that you trade solos in that kind of way. So really kind of interesting vibe. You can also use the code JNC40 to get 40% off of any individual course, but that was just the thing I noticed on there recently. There's loads of other great stuff if you're into the sorts of things that I am. Players like Tim Miller, Tim Lurch, Alan Hines, Joe Bonamassa's on there, Andy Wood is on there, loads of great stuff, Andy Timmons, of course. So yeah, use those codes and check that out. They sponsor the channel, so I like to shout them out where it's relevant. Okay, so yeah, just take the structure of the lick, and, you know, transform it so that it fits with any of the other box shapes. And you may find some kind of cool little things that you'd like to introduce into your playing, like that. That idea of just kind of replacing the take the pentatonic and replace the G sharp with an A. Kind of has a cool sound as well, and increases your awareness of what's actually happening. So I'm visualizing that there as the G sharp, or as the E major pentatonic, but just raising anytime I see a G sharp to the A. And it's given me more kind of consciousness of where the actual G sharp is as well, because I'm trying not to play the G sharp. That's kind of it in a nutshell. I really love that little lick because it's so rich, but also pretty simple. And gives us loads to work with if you're, like me and fascinated by Eric Johnson's playing. I hope that was vaguely interesting. I'll chuck up the backing track on Patreon, as well as showing you how to play it in all those positions, and probably mapping out as well that kind of modified pentatonic. One thing that you might notice is that if you just change that G sharp to an A, you essentially end up with what is the A major pentatonic or F sharp minor pentatonic, which could be another way to visualize that. But I think my tendency would be to play very differently if I'm thinking of F sharp minor pentatonic versus thinking of E major but playing an A. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and if you've got any questions about other Eric Johnson licks that you might want to see broken down, I'm always open to suggestions. I'll catch you in another video soon. Cheers.